We can talk about person job fit, person organization fit, and when we talk about a culture of an organization, we're normally talking about person organizational fit. When we are assessing people, job candidates for or selecting them for a job, we normally think about the different types of what we call KSAOs that we need to assess. So the knowledge, skills, abilities, and then other characteristics. Of course, having the knowledge, having the skills, and having the ability determines whether somebody can do a job or they're able to do the job to a certain performance standard. And the other then incorporates things like their motivation or their fit and so on. And it's often a challenge, isn't it? Because we're trying to assess the extent to which an organizational values, in a sense, because ultimately that's kind of what we're talking about when we're looking at fit, is aligned with the person's values, and so whether they will be a good representation of that company and they'll act in line with that company's values. And one of the ways that we often do that is through situational judgment tests. So when we're selecting candidates for jobs, we decide what we need to assess, what is the value or what is the behavior and so on. And we design these kind of situational dilemmas. So, if you were in this situation, what would you do? And you get a list of various options, and some may be totally wrong, others may be right, technically fine, but not in line with the organizational values. And so they're tricky enough to develop because you have to validate them psychometrically and so on, and make sure that you are actually assessing what you want to assess, and that people can't engage in social desirability answering, so they just pick the one that they think is the right answer, of course. So they're quite fun to develop, but it can be quite tricky and time consuming. But ultimately, that's one of the most effective ways to assess whether somebody will behave in line with the values of an organization.